Swadee Krap and welcome to Thailand News Today. Very dramatic lot of news we have to cover today. Coming to you from our garden, just looking up to the skies. I may have to make a run at any moment because we've certainly got some rain looming here, but for now it's very pleasant out here and nice to share this with you for today's news. Now this morning, of course, very dramatic events. Bangkok now in a state of emergency, the government taking the upper hand in the current round of protests, but the protesters at the same time are vowing that they're not going to be giving up. Bangkok is now in a state of emergency. The new decree was imposed at 4 a.m. in an effort by the Thai government to quell the growing support of the latest protest movement. The state of emergency places a ban on gatherings of any more than 5 people. The early morning announcement was the signal for hundreds of crowd control police in riot gear to move in on the protesters who had been camped outside Government House. There were only a few hundred protesters still on site just before 5 a.m, as thousands had moved on after yesterday's march and last night's speeches and activities. More than 20 people have now been arrested, including the protest organisers. Many more are currently detained, awaiting further legal process. The government announced in their early morning decree that it's extremely necessary to introduce an urgent measure to end this situation effectively and promptly to maintain peace and order. As a warning to social media users and the news media, the announcement went on to say publication of news, other media and electronic information that contains messages that could create fear or intentionally distort information, creating misunderstanding that will affect national security or peace and order. At its peak, it's thought that yesterday's protest had attracted up to 10,000 people. Meanwhile, the demonstrators at Government House say they had no intention to block a royal motorcade, cited by the government as one of the reasons to move in on the protesters. Many say that they were unaware that the motorcade would pass along the same route as their march. The Move Forward Party, the reincarnation of the dissolved Future Forward Party, claimed the anti-government demonstrators had no intention of impeding the motorcade. His Majesty the King and Queen and the young Prince travelled at the head of a 200-metre-long royal motorcade, making their way to a royal ceremony. A statement from the Move Forward Party says most demonstrators didn't even know the motorcade would pass the rally site and made no attempt to block the path. The opposition party is condemning the declaration of a state of emergency and demand the government revoke it immediately. Can't visit the bar girls in Pattaya at the moment? No problem. Technology has come to your rescue. Whilst it may be difficult to actually meet the bar girls in person, they're very happy to chat to you. You can buy them a beer and you can also open your pockets. Whilst the lockdowns and restrictions have heavily impacted Pattaya's bar scene, many are now digitally reaching out to customers who aren't even in Thailand. Many bars now stream on YouTube with a link to a PayPal account to allow customers to buy the ladies a drink or even make a donation. So now they can love you long time from a long way away. A man who's held a Phuket shopkeeper hostage has surrendered after a 4-hour standoff with police. Nation Thailand reports that the incident occurred in the sub-district of Sisantorn last night. Police say they were pursuing a group of teenagers over drug offences when one of the suspects ran into a motorbike repair shop, taking a woman hostage at gunpoint. After 4 hours of negotiation, the man put the gun down and was taken into custody. The woman was shaken but unharmed by the incident. And whilst we're in Phuket, the Phuket Vegetarian Festival starts tomorrow. The Phuket Mayor has said they're happy to give it the go-ahead, but adherents will have to stick to some new normal rules. The so-called Masongs, who often practice self-mutilation to enter a trance-like state and channel spirits, are now being asked by the Phuket Mayor to limit the level of torturing. During street processions at the week-long festival, the Masongs walk for hours with any number of sharp and sometimes larger objects piercing their cheeks. The mayor pleaded in a radio interview yesterday, Ma Songs must try and limit the level of torturing they endure and display, and people must wear face masks at all time. Well, good luck trying to get the Ma Songs to play along, of course, along with their spirits. In the meantime, that's all we've got time for Thailand News today. A lot of news happening in the way of protests and the follow-up. We'll certainly do our best to bring the latest information about all that at our website, thetiger.com. But for now, please subscribe to this channel. We're trying to bring you as much video material as we can, and we'll see you tomorrow.